welcome to Dreamy Tales, a place where gentle, relaxing stories will guide you into a deep sleep. On this channel, we'll be sharing soothing stories to help you unwind and forget the worries of the day. If you enjoy these peaceful moments, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you won't miss any of our bedtime tales. Let's create a space of relaxation together each night. Now, before we dive into tonight's story, let's take a few moments to relax your body and mind. Find a comfortable spot to sit or lie down. Gently close your eyes and take a deep breath. Inhale slowly, feeling the fresh air filling your lungs, and slowly exhale, letting the tension in your body gradually melt away. Repeat this 3 more times. With each breath, feel yourself becoming more relaxed and ready to enter the magical world of stories. Now, loosen your shoulders, gently massage your face, and release any remaining tension. Pay attention to any areas in your body that still feel tight, maybe in your neck, back, or legs, and gently let them relax. Next, we'll do a short guided visualization. Imagine yourself in a beautiful garden under the night sky, with the soft moonlight shining down. You can hear the rustling of leaves in the breeze, the sound of water flowing gently in the distance. Feel the cool breeze brushing against your face. Now that your body and mind are relaxed, let's step into tonight's story. But before we begin, remind yourself that you deserve these moments of relaxation, and let go of all worries as you listen to each word. And now, as you are fully relaxed, let's begin our journey into tonight's tale. Allow my words to guide you into a world of dreams and serenity. Relax and listen slowly. At bedtime, the mother would sit at the edge of her daughter's bed, reading stories until the little girl drifted off to sleep. Then she would tuck her into the sheets, kiss her forehead, and tiptoe quietly out of the room. The Emberton children often served as silent witnesses to these bedtime rituals. Lily and Max would perch comfortably on a nearby shelf, leaning against books, enchanted by the soothing tales. Afterward, they would return to the kitchen windowsill, climbing into their cloud-like feather duster beds and falling asleep once more. Though the Embertons hadn't initially planned to stay on the windowsill, it turned out to be quite suitable for them. In many respects, the past month felt like an extended family vacation. The windowsill proved to be the perfect retreat. They dined like royalty on takeout left on the kitchen counter and enjoyed a constant supply of fresh water from the taps. Their bedding might have been unconventional, but it was as soft and comfortable as the sheets in any 5-star hotel. Elle and Em had grown particularly fond of their velvety dusting cloth, infused with the scents of lemon and lavender. However, the best aspect of their new home on the windowsill was the reason Elle had originally suggested it. They adored the sheer beauty of the light streaming through the window, especially at dawn when the sun began to rise, and soft light dispersed through the glass. This light cast a golden glow across the family's sleepy faces, warming their skin with its gentle touch. As the sun climbed higher, each family member began to stir, shuffling in their bedding and stretching their arms and legs. Max was the first to wake, being the tallest of the siblings. He yawned heartily, stretching his arms above his head before reaching down to touch his toes, feeling the stretch through his back and legs. Finally, he sat up, crossing his legs, and admired the sunrise through the kitchen window, a moment that anyone would cherish, watching the sun ascend against a clear blue sky. However, having spent a lifetime awakening in the dark confines of a cupboard, Max particularly appreciated this view. His siblings soon joined him, and together they sat beside him. This had recently become their morning ritual. They would climb out of bed, face the glass, and watch as the massive orb of golden light slowly moved upward in the sky, gradually revealing the natural beauty at the back of the house. There was a rectangular lawn bordered by rose bushes, with a stone fountain at its center. Beyond the grass stood a typical wooden shed, painted the same chestnut red as the enclosing fence. To humans, it appeared as an attractive yet ordinary garden, but to the tiny Embertons on the windowsill, everything seemed larger and more grandiose. The garden transformed into a kingdom, protected by towering fences that stretched toward the sky. The shed resembled a massive royal palace, its chestnut-red magnificence shimmering in the sunlight. In front of the palace lay the royal gardens, a vast expanse of emerald greenery, flanked by rose bushes as tall as trees, resembling an enchanted forest with a canopy sprinkled with ruby-like blooms. Above all, the garden's most recent addition was the ivory fountain at its center. Water cascaded from the tip of a beautiful stone pineapple, flowing into a large round basin that allowed it to spill over into an even larger pool below. To human ears, it produced a calm, trickling sound, but to the Embertons, it was a series of magnificent, gushing waterfalls. The fountain resembled their very own Niagara Falls right outside the window. As the sun rose, patterns of light danced on the water, resembling sparkling diamonds. The sight was so enchanting that Elle felt inspired. Turning to his wife and children, he expressed his hope that even after they left the windowsill, they would return often. Once the sun had fully risen, the family would descend from the sill one by one, navigating past the kitchen sink. They often took showers in the sink, taking turns to climb down the plug chain and stand beneath the dripping tap. There was nothing quite like the cool water to awaken the senses in the morning. However, today they were merely passing by, with no immediate need for an invigorating wash. Energized by the prospect of adventure, the Embertons felt more cheerful than ever. The humans had settled in with their furniture arranged and walls freshly painted. It was now time for the Embertons to explore and find a new place to call home. Over the past few weeks, each family member had spent considerable time contemplating their ideal living space. L and M, strong advocates of fairness and equality, decided that each person's preference would be considered and that the location of their next home would be chosen by a family vote. The first to present his choice was L, which is why he was leading the way. Protruding from his backpack were two repurposed toothpicks, serving as his walking sticks, extremely handy when traversing uneven terrain. The Embertons were seasoned explorers, each equipped with their own walking sticks and backpacks filled with essential gear. These tools, collected and repurposed over the years, formed an effective adventuring kit. The Embertons relied on these tools whenever they embarked on expeditions. For instance, their climbing ropes were a combination of knotted string, safety pins, and picture hooks. Thanks to these makeshift ropes, they had scaled every surface, no matter how tall, wide, smooth, or rocky. At this moment, the Embertons resembled a group of expert hikers, but instead of trekking through the countryside, they were navigating marble countertops. As they journeyed through the kitchen, they weaved in and out of spice racks and sugar bowls. After circumnavigating the sink, they stepped onto the electric oven top. The surface was as smooth as an ice rink, so they held hands, forming a chain to maintain their balance. Their movements became fluid and effortless, gliding across the glassy surface like a professional ice skating team. It felt exhilarating, more akin to flying than walking. Everyone was delighted when Elle turned around at the edge of the cooktop, leading them back onto the glass. They twisted and twirled, moving so gracefully it seemed they were one entity rather than four individuals. All the Embertons beamed with joy, even as they left the cooktop and made their way toward Elle's chosen destination. They were almost there. Now they pulled out their climbing ropes and began ascending the microwave, with Elle taking the lead. Once they were all standing atop the microwave, Elle threw his rope upwards, threading it through a rectangular gap in the base of the cupboard above them. Pulling on the rope, Elle ensured that the picture hook at the other end was securely fastened. He then climbed the rope until he was inside the cupboard, waiting for the rest of the family to join him. For the rest of the family, this cupboard appeared somewhat unusual. It was the first time they had seen one with a large mechanical device inside. "This is the human's boiler," Elle explained. It provided the heat that kept the house warm and comfortable. He led them behind the machine to a spot where balls of cotton wool had been arranged like a sofa and chairs. At Elle's suggestion, the family sat down, their tiny bodies sinking into the snug fabric of the cotton wool. Instantly, they were struck by the coziness of the space and the blanket of warm air surrounding the boiler. It was a lovely, relaxing spot, the kind of place where one might sit and read a book, especially on cold, wet days. When Elle brought out a tray of tiny foil mugs filled with hot chocolate, the space felt even more like home. As he served them, he explained that all it took was a speck of cocoa dust, a drop of water from the nearby tap, and a minute beside the boiler to create enough hot chocolate for the entire family. The Embertons were impressed. The hot chocolate tasted utterly delicious, creamy and milky, blending the richness of dark chocolate with a hint of sweet mint. They were also excited about the potential of the space, envisioning what it might become once decorated and furnished. They imagined nights filled with conversation and comfort, accompanied by luxurious hot cocoa. In the mornings, they could descend into the kitchen, making a beeline for the windowsill and its spectacular view. The thought of sitting together each morning to admire the beauty of the waking world was truly delightful. The entire family was enthralled by this warm and cozy space. However, once the cups were empty, they were ready to continue their journey. Em took the lead now. She threw the climbing rope downward, catching the hook on the leg of a kitchen chair. Using a toothpick, she secured herself to the rope. Then, with her arms raised and a mischievous twinkle in her eye, she zip-lined down the rope. She landed effortlessly on the kitchen floor, and soon the rest of the family followed suit. They all smiled as they glided down, exhilarated by the ride. Then, they walked across the smooth floor, passing beneath the towering height of the kitchen table. Before long, they arrived at a large wooden sideboard, a new piece of furniture purchased by the Harringtons. It was a beautiful light pine that perfectly matched the table and chairs nearby, adding a much-needed touch of brightness to the room. Below, there were 3 cupboards, their doors paneled with frosted glass. Em explained that the middle cupboard was their destination. She planted her toothpick into the floor and vaulted forward through a gap in the cupboard door. The other Embertons followed her lead until the entire family stood inside. Led by Em, they navigated around piles of fine bone china, plates, bowls, teacups, and saucers. Some were so smooth and delicate they were surely reserved for special occasions. Others were plain in design, like stacks of teacups with curved surfaces so well polished they mirrored their surroundings. Lily was particularly amused by her reflection, surprised by how much she resembled a real explorer. Seeing herself in this light made her feel proud of both herself and her family. Lily also felt a surge of bravery. Although she was the youngest and smallest, she felt she could stand and walk a bit taller with the confidence of an intrepid adventurer. This moment was just one of many happy surprises for Lily. As she turned a corner and reached the back of the shelf, a table came into view. Em had prepared everything meticulously. The table itself was crafted from a single bottle cap, and on its surface sat a giant loop of cereal. A breakfast unlike any the Embertons had seen before. This single piece of cereal resembled a massive chocolatey, honey-sweet donut, so large it could feed the Embertons for 2 weeks. As they marveled at it, Em explained her discovery. It seemed that the little human girl ate cereal for breakfast every day, always in the chair right beside this cupboard. Being a rather messy eater, she scattered morsels of delicious food everywhere. So, right beside this cupboard, there was an endless supply of tasty treats, not just at breakfast, but also at lunch and dinner. The Embertons sat down around the table, their bellies rumbling at the sight and smell of the food. Without another word, they all began to eat, savoring the taste of the sweet, crunchy cereal. "I think we could be very happy here," declared Lily as she chose the last of her cereal. "And it's much lighter than the previous cupboard," added Elle. The others nodded in agreement. The family relaxed, feeling utterly satisfied after their sweet, hearty breakfast. Once more, they began to daydream, picturing what it might be like to live here. Though it wasn't as warm as Elle's spot in the boiler cupboard, it felt just as comfortable and homely. The thought of enjoying such delightful food each day was very tempting indeed. Max could almost imagine moving in right then. But later, as the Embertons prepared to leave the cupboard, Max remembered that it was his turn to act as group leader. He sprang into action, leading the family back across the kitchen floor. Daylight now filled the kitchen, mellow and golden like the light at sunrise, but visibly brighter. In some areas, the floor was speckled with patterns of sunlight reflected through the window. The family walked through one such pattern, finding themselves suddenly bathed in gorgeous, powerful sunlight. Beneath their feet, the beige floor took on a sand-like appearance. In the background, they could hear the ever-flowing water of the fountain outside, which sounded like the waves of a vast ocean. It felt as though the family had been transported thousands of miles away to an exotic beach destination. By the time they exited this tropical little spot, the tiny Emberton family was positively glowing. As they prepared to traverse the fluffy hallway carpet, their moods were carefree and relaxed. Perhaps this was why their walk over the creamy carpet felt so effortless. Nevertheless, it was a rather lengthy journey and not the easiest terrain to cross. It was times like these that the family was especially grateful to be together. They held hands as they walked among the thick, velvety carpet fibers, supporting each other just as they had before. This particular carpet had only recently been laid, and it was the family's first crossing. Em was simply awestruck by its softness and bounciness. Everyone appreciated the new carpet's scent, which lingered on their clothes as they stepped through another open doorway and into the living room. Of all the rooms in the house, this one had perhaps been the most altered by the new homeowners. Gone was the burgundy carpet that Em had never liked, replaced by a floor of polished mahogany. The old wallpaper had been swapped for sun-soaked terracotta paint. Framed artwork adorned the walls, displaying scenes from nature alongside simpler pieces likely drawn by the Harrington child. In the center of the room stood a massive leather sofa, a comfortable spot for viewing the TV directly opposite. Mounted high on the wall was the largest screen the Embertons had ever encountered. Lily gasped at the sight, while her parents chuckled quietly. It was hardly surprising that their son would choose such a place. Living beside a giant cinema screen would be a dream come true for Max. However, as the family followed Max across the glossy floorboards and up onto the coffee table, they soon realized their assumptions were incorrect. Max wasn't leading them to the sofa or a crevice in the cushions that offered a view of the screen. Instead, he guided them across the coffee table to a sight far more impressive. The centerpiece of the room was a large rectangular fish tank teeming with life. Max beamed, looking like a proud treasure hunter showcasing his findings. He then walked across the table toward the tank, inviting his family to sit within the indentation of a decorative panel on the table. It was the perfect spot for the Embertons, deep enough for them to remain hidden and slanted at just the right angle to observe the aquarium. As the family sat side by side, they examined the vibrant marine life within the vast aquarium. Twisting chunks of driftwood provided intricate pathways for fish of every color, fluttering gracefully through the branches. Even the tiniest fish seemed enormous, each boasting a unique blend of colors and patterns. One fish, in particular, caught Max's attention, a striking shade of red with large petal-like fins. "I've named her Ruby," he explained. "Her color matches the ruby-red roses in the garden, and the way she moves reminds me of rose petals floating through the water." Her movements were so smooth and flowing that she seemed like a petal gliding effortlessly through the water. For the third time that day, the family was thoroughly impressed. They all thought it would be marvelous to move to such a place. Max, in particular, had often dreamed of living beside water. If they relocated here, the family would have their very own private ocean, a constant source of beauty and entertainment. Additionally, it wouldn't be difficult to set up their furniture beneath the nearby sofa leg or perhaps in one of the table drawers below. But Max was soon pulled from his daydreams as Lily stood up, ready to showcase her own preferred location before the family cast their votes. Striding forward with confidence, Lily descended the coffee table gracefully, landing softly on the smooth mahogany floor. She then turned, not toward the hallway as the others expected, but deeper into the living room. They passed the coffee table and navigated around the back of the sofa. Only Lily had visited this spot before, which is why she couldn't resist looking back at her family to flash a knowing smile. Knowing what awaited around the corner, she found it difficult to contain her delight. Very soon, the rest of her family were equally enchanted. Right there, against the living room wall, stood the little girl's dollhouse. It was so tall that its roof nearly reached the arm of the sofa. The dollhouse opened to reveal 3 floors of various rooms connected by stairs at each level and a lift on the side. There was a kitchen and living room on the ground floor, a dining room and bathroom above, and on the top floor there were bedrooms. One was larger, featuring a double bed at its center, and there were also 2 smaller rooms with single beds. Like every room in the house, the bedrooms were beautifully decorated and furnished with the most modern and stylish pieces. For some time, the Embertons stood in silence, taking in the sight of this wonderful mansion. Like the other places they'd explored that day, it felt like home. Yet, this place also genuinely looked like home. There was no longer any need to imagine furniture and decor because it already surpassed anything they could have envisioned. It was a dream come true for each and every one of them. So, it was no surprise that Lily's choice won the vote. The Embertons decided on the dollhouse even before Lily pointed out the tiny remote-controlled car parked beside it. They could use this car to travel everywhere, revisiting the places they'd seen that day and exploring plenty of new destinations. Whenever the mood struck, they might visit the fish tank or the fountain, or stop to sunbathe on the kitchen floor. They could fill the car's boot with cereal loops, cocoa, and various other delicacies before returning home to their very own dining room. And when it was time to sleep, Lily and Max could climb into their beds, listening to soothing bedtime stories read by their parents. Then, when Lily and Max were fast asleep, Elle and Em would tiptoe out of the room, leaving the children to dream of new adventures. With their new home chosen, the Embertons felt a deep sense of contentment. The dollhouse offered endless possibilities for exploration and comfort. It was a place where they could create new memories, enjoy the company of one another, and revel in the beauty of their surroundings. The Emberton family had not only found a new home, but had also embarked on a journey of discovery and togetherness, embracing the changes with open hearts and eager spirits. As days turned into weeks, the Embertons settled into their new abode seamlessly. They decorated their rooms with found objects, transforming each space into a unique haven that reflected their personalities. Lily, with her love for stories, adorned her bedroom with miniature books and tiny lanterns that provided a soft glow during her nightly readings. Max, ever the explorer, set up maps and charts of their adventures, marking the spots they had discovered and planning future expeditions. Elle and Em took joy in creating communal spaces where the entire family could gather. The dining room became a place for shared meals and storytelling, while the living room served as a hub for games and relaxation. The addition of the remote-controlled car added a new dimension to their daily activities, allowing them to traverse the dollhouse with ease and efficiency. The Embertons also began to engage more deeply with their human neighbors, observing the Harringtons from their hidden vantage points. They witnessed the joys and challenges of human life, gaining a newfound appreciation for their own existence. The interactions between the humans and their friends provided a wealth of experiences and insights that enriched the Embertons' understanding of the world around them. One particularly memorable day, the Embertons discovered a new section of the dollhouse, a tiny balcony overlooking the garden. From this elevated vantage point, they could see the entire estate in all its glory. The rose bushes swayed gently in the breeze, and the fountain continued to produce its soothing sounds. It was a place of serenity and beauty, perfect for moments of reflection and peace. As seasons changed, the Embertons adapted to their new environment, finding joy in the simple pleasures of their miniature world. They celebrated holidays with creative decorations, hosted tiny gatherings for their fellow household residents, and continued to explore every nook and cranny of their expansive dollhouse. The family's bond grew stronger with each passing day, united by their shared experiences and the adventures they embarked upon together. The Emberton family's story was one of resilience, adaptability, and the enduring power of family bonds. They had transformed their circumstances with ingenuity and optimism, turning a period of upheaval into an opportunity for growth and discovery. In their new home, they found not only shelter and comfort, but also a canvas for their imaginations and a foundation for their dreams. And so, the Emberton family thrived, their lives a testament to the beauty of finding home in unexpected places and the joy of embracing new beginnings. Their journey was far from over, and with each new day, they continued to write their own unique and enchanting story, one filled with love, adventure, and endless possibilities.